Disabled community, I'm sorry, but today I'm coming for you. Okay guys, so as you know, I'm very passionate about advocacy. I love to speak on behalf of people that can't speak for themselves for whatever reason. I love to call out injustices. I love to tell people, look, this is wrong and this is right, if they need to hear it, of course, because sometimes you don't really need to say anything. But in general, that's what I do. And that's what this channel is mostly about. It's about helping VIPs and other disabled people in their day-to-day, but also to be like, you know what, here are our issues, this is what we need, this is what we're not getting, and why, basically, right? So that's clear. As I do what I do on my own individual capacity, and also with help from other people and other organizations that see what I do and they want to partner up, I've started to realize that I need to call this thing out, which is this: disabled people, disabled communities, and I don't just mean VIPs as in visually impaired persons, but I also mean intellectually disabled, physically disabled, deaf. I also mean people with conditions that deem them temporarily disabled or long-term effects of different conditions which give them disability. All of that is in the mix, right? These people, or let me just say us, because I'm in there. Unfortunately, the problem with us is that when we are called to do something for ourselves, like be in an initiative from the beginning stages, when we're called to participate in projects or programs that will help us in one way or the other, we do not show up, okay? We do not show up. And I am starting to get tired of this thing. I'm out here day in, day out, right? Not that I'm saying that I'm special or doing more than somebody else. No. I'm just saying that I'm doing my part with the platform that I've been able to create for myself and the opportunities that God has given me, right? Because I feel when you have opportunities, you have the responsibility to better someone else's life with those opportunities, okay? That's what I believe. So when these things come up and you're like, hey, I'm doing this project, there's this thing going on, can you guys come through? Can you give your opinions? Can you chime in? Can you tweet about it? Can you talk about it? Can you come for this forum? etc. You know what people in the disabled community do? By and large, oh, are we going to be given something? Oh, that's a great idea, Crystal. Wow, that's really good. Yeah, I'll be there. Oh, that day, okay, I'm not sure if I'll be able to come, but let me know what happens at the end, and I'll come at the end. I'll come, later on in the program when it's almost at the end of the stages. What is that? That's crazy. And I feel like people are really taking advantage. Us in the disabled community are taking advantage of those who are in these positions, who are trying to make a change because they care, and they care about people, right? Like myself, I care about what happens to me, my kids, your kids, if you're disabled, etc. I care. And instead of coming and joining and being like, you know what, we have to help, we don't have to do what we have to do, play our part, play our role, you guys are just sat back. You just sat back. You're waiting for the day when it's just at the end to either come and eat the fruits of other people's labor, or you're waiting for the day when something goes wrong and you're like, oh, making noise. You're like, oh, they didn't include us. We weren't even called. Nothing about us, without us. Those hashtags, disabled community, blah, 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 blah. Only when it's time to make noise when people come through, or when it's time to eat. I think that's really wrong. And that's why I'm trying to make this video today, because I'm like, I'm tired of it. And I have to tell you guys the same thing. Disabled community, I'm really disappointed. I've been trying to do my part for the last 2 months to do something specific. If you guys know about ability, obviously you'll know what I've been doing with the program. But if you don't, please go and check out my social media, Twitter especially, or go to the Open Institute to find out more. And guys don't show up. They didn't show up, no one. People who called in to volunteer? Lots of university students who I really appreciate, by the way, that's awesome. And then just a few professionals in the field, some engineers, some designers, a couple of people in the accessibility sort of like industry or sector rather. That's who came to volunteer. About 40 people, none of whom were from the disabled community. And I was saying, guys, we need to be a part of something like this from the beginning stages so that we are listened to and we are considered straight from the get-go. But no one came. I was the only disabled person, and that's because I'm managing the program. That's disappointing. Makes me sad. makes me kind of annoyed, but you know what? I like to keep my energy positive, so I'm not going to get this thing, sort of put me down. But in general, I'm not happy. It's not cool. And also another thing about the disabled community is this. You guys, we always talk about, oh, we're not giving opportunities, no jobs, no schooling, bad transport, bad buildings, bad streets, da-da-da, do-do-do. And then when it's time for you guys to show up, as in apply for jobs, when people actually say, this job is open, we would love to have this people disabled community also apply, people don't apply. You know that I know so many HR managers I've been researching. I've called up HR managers in many different companies. I've been like, hey, when you recruit for positions, do you ever have people from the disabled community come to apply? No. In fact, I've never actually had anyone who has a disability apply for any jobs here. Why is that, guys? You need to be seen. You need to be seen. I know it's about confidence, and I know it's about you've been rejected many times before, and I understand that because I go through it as well. But I'm still pushing on, y'all. I can't do it by myself. This thing can't happen with just one or two people. The needle will never move with only one or two people. It has to be like a massive effort from everyone in the community. And guys don't understand that. I feel like if only guys could make themselves seen and come out in numbers when you're needed, or even when you're not needed, just be active, just do something. Do whatever you can in your own sort of way. Because not everyone can make a video and be on YouTube. That's fine, that's okay. But then again, don't just show up when it's time to make noise and complain, and ask for handouts. That's not cool. It's not helping the movement at all. It's really not. Because guys will still have the same stereotypes about disabled people, like, oh, all they want is this, they just want money, they just, handouts, charity, that's all. When people like me, people who are out here, not just Kenya, out in the world, I mean, right? Who are out here just trying to fly the flag high and stuff like that, our efforts then always get, dulled down because the majority of us are not doing our part. There are some other people in my community who actually agree with what I'm saying, because I've been ranting in some of the WhatsApp groups that I'm in, because I'm a vocal person. I don't just sit around and just, keep quiet. No. I'm not a spectator. I've never been that way at all. People who know me, my friends, people from my past know that I will speak when I feel like it needs to happen, okay? So I said some stuff in some groups on WhatsApp, and I said, you know what, guys, here's the issue. I'm not going to tiptoe around it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. I'm giving you the real, and it's 100% coming from the bottom of my heart, okay? And there are couple of people who actually came back and said, Crystal, we understand what you're saying. We actually agree. And I was like, thank goodness that someone is actually saying the truth, who is not afraid to be like, you know what, guys, we need to pull up our socks. We need to put some fire up our ass and do this thing, right? Here's what they had to say. Check out Brian.
Just to respond to Crystal, if we claim to be custodians of the interests of the blind, and we are conspicuously absent in forums where the very interests we purport to champion are to be represented, then that's an outright indictment on our commitment. It is disheartening to see we, the blind, take the back seat when we should actually assume the front line. It is heartbreaking to swallow the reality that we, the blind, are the architects of our own misery. Why do I say so? As Crystal rightfully puts it, we have turned out to be people who allow others to think on their behalf. When platforms are created for us to come and share our views so that the same can influence policy change that would eventually be of benefit to us, we actually don't take that advantage, and instead we allow people who are non-members in the disability community go and discuss our welfare in our absence. Wakati tumeitwa kupeana maoni yetu kwa platforms ambazo ziko structured, we don't show up. We only make too much noise. Na wakati opportunity imepeanwa, we are nowhere to be seen.
And this is Mandela Gaya giving his thoughts as well.
Crystal, I know it really feels bad, when you put efforts in trying to advocate for people collectively and you don't find any support from them. No one has your back. No one stands by your side. It feels crazy. I know. I love people who have the passion to help the disabled community. especially the blind, because there's a notion that other people are more disabled than we are. And that's crazy. So I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry. I feel bad for you. I heard your voice and I could feel some sense of pain coming out from your heart, deep within.
So you see, it's not just me. And I hope that you guys don't think that this Sorry Not Sorry video is about me bashing the disabled community, or you guys are like this, or you guys are like this. No, because I'm in it. If I bash you, I bash myself. So it's not about bashing. It's about calling it out and just saying the truth as it is, so that everyone knows that it's not something that it's under the rug. It's the elephant in the room that everyone knows, but no one wants to speak about. Because the narrative for the longest time has been this: oh, the disabled people, treat them softly, they treat you with care. Be gentle, don't say too much. No, not anymore. Not on my channel. If you're here and you are listening, then you have to listen to the end. And if you don't want to hear it, thank you. God bless you. Have a very good day. Here's the issue. I'm not going to tiptoe around it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. Here is it